Today, for this second race of the Formula 2 weekend for Zandvoort, we have an unexpected element in the form of the rain. Unfortunately, folks, this is only going to be for maybe the first 5 laps tops. It is expected to dry out, and even for the Grand Prix later today, the sun could be out. So it is an unexpected element, but it's probably not going to cause too much problems. It's a good thing though. Of course, in wet conditions, we've had very much a kind of, let's say, discussion about whether the wet wire tyres are even used these days. But of course, in Formula 2, they're always used because there's no intermediates, meaning that throws a curveball. But it's expected to dry out so quickly, but actually could be moving straight to a dries anyway. So the grid is as it was yesterday. We'll start with the back. Callie Mayer looking to repeat her magnificent performance yesterday in the sprint where she won it. It's going to be a bit more difficult today, though. Finito Fittipaldi's 20th, followed by Amaury Cordia, when it's Ralph Bachong and Jack Doohan, who is pretty much not Alpine bound, but certainly going to be on the boards for next year. And going further on, we've got Amuyu Iwasa 14th behind Richard Verschoor. And then we get to Frederick Vesti, someone who's been very out of position so far in qualifying this year. He starts 12th. Logan Sargent is Williams bound, and he starts 9th behind Yuri Vips and Marcus Armstrong. As we go into the top 5, well, Jehan Derivative is in 6th, followed by Ollie Colwell, a surprise 5th. Teo Pourchaire and Felipe Dragovic finally putting their cards towards the front. The front row is of particular interest because Liam Lawson needs a win today in pretty much the best way he can get it today, because he is falling further and further behind Callie Mayer. Should she finish around Lawson's position today, probably around the top 5 or so, as ever unlikely as it may seem, because there is a lot of points awarded in Formula 2, Callie Mayer, if everything goes her way, if she does finish in the points today ahead of Lawson, she could be virtually on the verge of winning the championship with a round to spare. Of course, there's a lot of variables that would have to go her way, but such is her form over the course of the season, I wouldn't actually bet against it, quite frankly. She won the sprint race yesterday from the most dramatic of circumstances. Now, I think on a normal day, she probably would have finished at least 5th. I think she was about 8th by the time the red flag came out. Of course, the red flag was caused by Jake Hughes spinning in one of the later quarters of the track, which Amuyu Iwasa also spun the car. But the difference with Jake Hughes is it caused the car park, and Callie Mayer, much to her luck, was able to weave pretty much all through it, save for the tiniest of chaps with Jehan Derivative, which resulted in him getting a penalty for some reason. Not really sure why that is. I don't think either of them could have avoided the collision. But I think it was around here where Jake Hughes spun, and it caused an almighty car park and really switched up the order. And the fact that Liam Lawson was out of the points, I think. So he needs to win today to pretty much keep his championship hopes alive. It can't be taken today for Callie Mayer, but it certainly would go a big step towards it. Now, as we said, we're starting on the wet tyres today. It's probably more intermediate conditions, to be honest, but of course Formula 2 doesn't run the intermediate tyres at all. Funny contrast that with F1, where they don't run the Wayne tyres, but that's a different discussion that we've had for a different day. Really, but I guess thankfully to a degree, this is about to clear up to the point where the sun could be out for the Grand Prix, in which someone like Aiden Jackson, for example, will be looking forward to, considering he's been on a purple vein of form all weekend. We'll have that in our pre-race show later. But today is the kind of semi-important matter of maybe turning towards the end of Formula 2. After this, there are just 2 rounds remaining. Here we are for the feature race, and here come the 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and away we go. How does Liam Lawson get away? He gets away perfectly well, cuts across Sato immediately to cover his lead. Can Sato stay in second? Yes, he can. No dive bomb from Callie Mayer to turn 1. I guess it would be a lot more risky in these conditions to do that, and she has a championship lead to think about. So Callie doing some smart driving in turn 1. Got some side-by-side action, but Ollie Colwell as he drops down to 6th. Jake Hughes is 8th. That's a point scoring position. Logan Sargent has unfortunately lost the position to Yuri Vips. Callie Mayer going round the outside of the banking. of about 3 or 4 cars, and she's already made her way up to 18th. So much for Callie Mayer being cautious at the start. She made up for it about 3 corners later, passing 4 cars in the space of about 4 corners entirely, and already up to 18th place. So she seems to be in that mood again, where she's going to pass some cars. So we'll keep an eye on her for the rest of the race, because she will probably move through this field at a rate of knots. But the rain is going to kick up well, not kick up, but stir up maybe an unexpected element of this race. Liam Lawson immediately getting on with it. Of course, he had a run in the Red Bull in practice on Friday, Liam Lawson, and to really kind of suit up for the rest of the season and prove he's maybe in contention for a Red Bull seat one day. Probably not now, because the dream team of Verstappen and Perez have been literally, well, they're the dream team, quite frankly, and I don't think there's going to be any chances there anytime soon. Well, Lawson is in line for a possible V-Carb seat, should Daniel Ricciardo not be signed up. Maybe Liam Lawson could be the next in line at V-Carb. He will be at least second in this championship, and based on his early season form, you have to say he deserves it. He was the first to have a double win in Formula 2 ever, with his performance in the feature races. Callie Mayer puts a bold move on her teammate once again, up to 15th, as the Dams team continue to just leave Callie Mayer to it, rather than force team orders, because Callie's going to get through no matter what anyway. And that was pretty much the case there. So here's the start from Lawson, and he pretty much did as you would expect, a la Michael Schumacher, running across to the other side of the track to protect his line and take the most optimum line into turn 1 in these conditions. It's maybe not the most optimum line, as Callie Mayer found out of the banking on that one. As we're going to have a look at her start, and yep, she pretty much backed off all those cars. I think we almost went 4 wide into turn 1 in these conditions. That would have been very, very good to watch. But the Charouz car and Callie Mayer decided not to partake in it and probably hope for a bit of a collision, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Now, how did Callie get around all these cars into banking? It was pretty much a bus stop, and Callie passed 4 of them, taking the best line in. I think that was I'm not sure what caused that. I think it might have been Calderon on the brakes, as we go a little bit later into the lap. And Callie makes more moves past the Charouz and the Virtuoso car Jack Doohan, as she continues to make lap 1 charges through the field. And I'm not really sure where she is right now. I'll have to have a look at the moment, as we're still watching this replay. We're still watching Callie Mayer kind of charge her way through the field. And here's the battle with Iwasa, where there's no contest really, because Callie Mayer, in battling with Iwasa, has been every single time this has happened, Callie has won the encounter, and she did here today. Oh, very close to her teammate there. That would have been hearts and mouths movements there at Dams, but fortunately didn't come to blows on that one. And Callie just so smooth and steady, and especially with her throttle application, she does get a little oversteer there, but Callie just seems to have this calmness in the wet conditions and in the control of her car. And well, maybe there actually there was a bit of contact with the Charouz car. I'm assuming that's Calderon. I think she was lower down than Vershaw was. And now we reach lap 3, so no DRS enabled because of the wet conditions, as you saw at the start of this race. We're expecting it to clear out pretty soon, maybe within the first 10 laps. We can have DRS on by maybe lap 7 or 8. If it does continue to keep drying like this. There is very much a dry line appearing now, and these wet conditions, these wet tyres rather, are going to be virtually worthless if the track does dry out. They do hold their own in the intermediate conditions, but it can be a little bit tricky. I have no idea why Formula 2 doesn't run the intermediate tyres. It's always been a mystery to me for some reason as to why they don't. I guess it's to save tyres, really. Because there was always going to be this discussion of whether taking some tyres out. But of course, back in 2018 in F1, we had all sorts of different compounds, didn't we? And then they kind of simplified it, thank goodness. Because sometimes I lost track of what tyre did what, and what was pretty much, we had pink as the ultra soft tyre at one point, I think, or something like that. It was rather humorous for a time. Lap 4 and Liam Lawson has raced away to a 2-second lead. That's exactly what he needs to do with Callie Mayer out of the points at the moment. But I wouldn't count on that being for too long. Especially if we do move to the dry tyres, and then Callie would probably just charge with the rest of this field, really. But her touch on the car and her feel for the car is so much beyond her peers' years, really, in Formula 1 even. She's definitely got a very smooth application of the car. She can be aggressive with it when she needs to, but I would say that she's probably maybe a little bit smoother on it than, say, someone like Aiden Jackson, for example, her older brother, of course. And obviously very similar to Max Verstappen, as comparisons have been made between those two. Unfortunately, we haven't really had the title fight that we wanted when going into the start of the season, as we figured these 2022 vehicles would be most suited to Jackson and Verstappen. I wouldn't say we've been, that's not been any one or either's fault, really. The Audi definitely was coming better as the season's gone on, whereas the Red Bull was pretty strong out of the box, with Max Verstappen grabbing a couple of early wins after a Ferrari stronghold in the first couple of races. Charles Leclerc winning the opening 2 races of the season, and then it was kind of maxed for a couple of times. And then most recently, of course, George Russell finally got Mercedes' first win of the season on the books. And they've really come to life in the latter stages of this year as the pit stops are happening now. Lap 4, I believe this would count as a pit window open stop, as a count for a pit stop. Because of course in Formula 2, you have to pit on after a certain lap for it to count as your mandatory stop. Callie Mayer goes to the hard tyres. Now, the tyre wear has not been totally extreme here. I'm not really sure if the tyre bug would be in effect, probably, because we did have a dry race yesterday, and of course, hopefully, when we reach F1 week 2023, hopefully in the 2023 season, we shouldn't have this tyre bug in effect, but we'll have to wait and see, and whether that comes to kind of fruition or not. That'll be obviously an issue with the game, rather than the rules for next year. They're pretty much going to be the same as this one. Tangent Calderon here, doing a nice move on Callie Mayer around the outside. That's something we haven't seen very often. And maybe that's why Callie Mayer came into the pits, to fit the dry tyres. Look at Liam Lawson struggling in the final corner there. He had to lift off, and he's going into the pits as well. So I would assume now, pretty much, that race control will enable the DRS system now that everyone pretty much has fitted the dry tyres. I believe that's a rule that's supposed to be a thing, but sometimes it can be switched on maybe a little bit earlier, but I think it's right on cue today. There you go. DRS enabled then by race control as the rest of the field is coming through. They've already pitted. How many positions are they going to make? Probably not a lot. Liam Lawson's already left the pits and gone off down the road, as it were. He was 4 seconds clear of Sato when the pit stop started. So Callie Mayer has to do it all today from 14th place, more or less. Yes, indeed. She'll probably pass... No, she won't pass Verschoor, actually. And neither will Caldwell, for that matter. So, even though they're just warming up their tyres, and with Caldwell and Mayer's tyres have had a heat cycle of a lap through them, no real performance advantage yet. And Caldwell certainly isn't feeling it, but Callie Mayer is down the inside. And nothing doing there. That's not usually what happens, but of course, keep in mind that Formula 2 cars are equal spec. There are no real differences in car performance. They're all the same, more or less. The only real difference is the livery on the cars. Callie Mayer's not really running a lot of sponsorships at the moment, but she does have konnersport on her helmet. And of course, we've got a special, we've got some news filtering through about konnersport heading into the 2023 season. We'll have more for that in our pre-race show later on for the Grand Prix. It's rather interesting, let's say, and it's something we knew about a couple of days ago, really at the start of the weekend. So really, we know about as much as you do when it comes to that. But there's a very interesting story brewing in the supposed Audi konnersport partnership. Let's just say it might not be happening now for a variety of reasons. As I said, we'll explain more later. As Callie Mayer goes round the outside, I believe there, of Ollie Caldwell in the, what car does Caldwell run here? I think it's the Campos, isn't it? Well, easy work for Callie Mayer today. And the field's a bit more spread out than it was in the sprint race. In the sprint race, everyone from about leader then Jake Hughes to 10th place was about a second, really. Everyone was separated by a tablecloth, more or less. And that spin from Jake Hughes that caused the car park really helped Callie Mayer out in making those positions. And then she won from there after taking the lead at the restart from Ollie Caldwell, incidentally, which she was just past. And today, it seems like being another cakewalk for Liam Lawson on the soft tyres. They will not make it to the end of this race, so he will have to stop again. But such is his lead, you might not have to worry about it too much. When Liam Lawson leads, he leads very comfortably. He did it in Spain, he did it in the Monaco feature race, if you remember. Under all that pressure, with the safety car and everyone kind of wearing out their tyres, and Callie Mayer having punches, which took her out of the race. And this is exactly what Liam Lawson leads, because Callie Mayer at this moment is not over scoring any points. So that will be very much a win that Liam Lawson would desperately need. He desperately needs this result to happen for him today. So Marino Sato 6 seconds behind, followed by Dragovic and Pourchaire, who stayed 3rd and 4th off the start. Darula 5th. Logan Sargent has been the big winner of the pit stop phase. He is up to 6th in the Carlin race car. And how on earth did Logan Sargent get there? Because he was down to 10th at the start. So he must have had a splendid outlap to make those positions back up. Jake Hughes is 7th. Marcus Armstrong, Dennis Haugen, and Yuri Vitz complete the top 10. That's the point scorers today. Followed by Vesti, Verschaw, Callie Mayer, 2 seconds behind. As Darula and Pourchaire are battling over 3rd place. And we're just about to cut to it. Logan Sargent there, right in the wheel tracks of Teo Pourchaire. Whereas Logan Sargent been all season. Well, he was confirmed as Williams driver for 2023, alongside Alex Albin, replacing Nicholas Latifi for next season, and it really has given him a boost. He's going for P5 ahead of Pourchaire, but unfortunately for him, DRS was already enabled for Pourchaire as well. So, with the story kind of brewing and changing as far as the Audi to konnersport kind of technical partnership is concerned, what does that mean for Sauber? Well, Alfa Romeo, we can tell you this: Alfa Romeo will continue as sponsors, well, title sponsors for Sauber, regardless of what happens with the konnersport entry for 2023, as it was already penciled in. So, no matter what, Alfa Romeo will be Alfa Romeo next season. So there's some talk of maybe Sauber going back to Sauber for 2024 and 2025 before the Audi transition in 2026. From what we're kind of piecing together over the course of a weekend, it looks like that will be still happening as normal now that konnersport could be going into a different route when it comes into their entry in F1, a very different route that we can't really wait for. If it is the start of the big team surge that will be coming over the next couple of years, once again we'll have that info for that later on. But let's just say in 2026 we could have a lot of teams over what we've heard over the course of the last few weeks. Obviously during the winter break as well. This is all really coming to fruition now, and the future is looking very bright for Formula One. And well, how many of these drivers will we see in Formula One in the near future? We've got Logan Sargent coming in, almost, well, pretty much confirmed now. Liam Lawson seems to be maybe plan A for not V-carb. I think they're supposed to be coming V-carb in 2024. That's a rumour as well. But they're still AlphaTauri at the moment. But of course, rumours of Visa Cash App could be coming in to sponsor them, which would be rather a very humorous name. People are already dubbing it V-carb, and we haven't even had confirmation of a deal yet. But Formula One moves fast, and very much as fast as the merry-go-round features really as fast as the cars do. But Liam Lawson could be, he'll of course be at AlphaTauri no matter what anyway, because he does have that on his Red Bull duties, so to speak. He is a Red Bull driver after all, and he's been doing the business both for AlphaTauri and Red Bull in testing sessions. As Callie Mayer makes her way down the inside of Richard Forshaw for 12th place. And it's fair to say, from 4th to 13th, there's a bit of a train forming, so that's more places for Callie Mayer to make. But her only move today seems to be in turn 1, more than anything else. And maybe this little section as well. Down the inside, she's having a couple of looks at those corners during the course of the race. But it's a very tight corner, to be fair. It's great to see Zandvoort back on the calendar. I never really got to see it in its kind of heyday back in the 70s and 80s. Of course, I wasn't even born, so that would be a reason. But it is a very nice track, and I think that just the feel of being here, surrounded, literally surrounded by the Max Legion, the Max Verstappen fans, very much propelled the Netherlands' popularity of the sport, even before he became world champion. There's been even more since, and it's great to have this classic track back on the calendar. We just need the likes of Japan back now, really, and Germany to make it really complete, to be honest. Anyway, taking to the outside, and Frederick Vesti is making a very bad error, because Callie Mayer perfected that move yesterday and she's done it again. Forcing Vesti to the inside, that move is never on. And you left too much space for Callie Mayer. You cannot leave Callie that much space. She will take it and run away with it. Beautiful helmet she's got. In fact, the Global is a very apt sponsorship now. Again, I have more for that in the Grand Prix pre-race show later on today. It is very much a fast-moving story. Well, Mayer can definitely get some points from here, but the question will be how many, and do any of these drivers have to make another stop? I would assume on those of the soft tyres will definitely have to, because they stopped around lap 5 or 6. And we've gone almost 10 laps into this race, and the super soft tyres generally are only good enough maybe for 10 laps. As Callie Mayer makes her way down the inside of Yuri Vips. Beautiful move. And she is now making her move through the field. That's P10 at a point now for Callie Mayer. It'll still be a 24-point swing in Liam Lawson's favour. And here come the second pit stops. Callie Mayer almost crashing there. I think she was trying to pick up DRS. And before a driver in front of her came into the pits, well, she definitely got it on that occasion. And those on the soft tyres having to pit it almost immediately. That means Logan Sargent now down to 15th place. That's rather unfortunate, to be honest. And let's talk about whether the hard tyres might not make it. Liam Lawson has a 10-second lead and nothing to worry about. Not really focused on him at all. Because he had a 10-second lead. When Liam, like we said, when Liam Lawson leads, he leads by example. And very much in the running for that AlphaTauri seat for 2024. But that will really depend on the situation involving Daniel Ricciardo, who, as we said at the Belgian pre-race show, has been rather pushed aside for Oscar Piastri in one of the most exciting driving signs of the season, as that's Ollie Colwell on the side of the road. As suspected engine failure for Ollie Colwell, and that's him out of this race as Liam Lawson goes into the pits. to put a set of hards on, I think. You don't have to run by both dry and wet tyres in a dry race, but because of a tyre bug, it's been infamous with the Formula 2 section of F1 23. Even the AI drivers suffer it. Well, all the drivers suffer it, we should say. Now, Callie Mayer leads, which is very good for her, in fact. But she will most likely have to stop again. I think if Liam Lawson gets to within passing range of Callie, she will not hold him up. Now, where can Callie be from here? Look at the marbles already on the right front tyre there of Callie. She ran out of the marbles, you can clearly see them. And she's going to be struggling with that tyre. She vowed never to make the mistake again of not pitting and trying to go further than the tyres would allow. She said she learned her lesson from Monaco, but no one blamed her for the effort. But the rise of this woman for the motorsport ranks has been very similar to another very familiar kind of person in Callie's life, her older brother Aiden Jackson. She's had a very similar rise through the ranks, but she's aiming to go one better in Formula 2 than Jackson managed, and that's really because Mick Schumacher was unstoppable in 2020. Sadly, 2 years later, Mick Schumacher is struggling to even get a point on the board. No point. Oh my word! And that's Callie Mayer half spinning into the pit lane. You can tell she's being aggressive with her pit entry. Did she break the pit lane speed limit on her way in? It's not going to matter too much for now. Nothing from race control at the moment. Where is she going to feed out? I think she's going to be at least 5th. Oh no, there goes Deruvula and Porsche. I think they were going through the corner side by side. As well as Sargent and Jake Hughes. Callie Mayer is going to be right in the middle of it. And where is she going to feed out? She's going to feed out just side by side with Sargent. And round the banking, round the outside. We know Callie likes that outside section. Very much like Jackson does. But Callie couldn't pass Sargent on that occasion. Well, there's a very nervy pit exit for Callie Mayer. That could have really ended in a very close encounters with two battling drivers, and there's not really much Callie could have done. It's a kind of narrow pit lane exit. She does get through into 5th eventually. This was Callie entering the pits. She veered. She was going into the wall. And that was almost a one-way ticket. Superb driving for Callie Mayer to keep it out of the wall here. Puts the pit limiter on. And I think she did get the car slowed down. We've had nothing from race control at the moment then. So Callie Mayer has followed the rules on the pit lane entry that time. In Saudi Arabia, of course, she broke the speed limit and got a 5-second penalty for her troubles. Well, I think Callie can at least get 5th here if she gets on with it and passes Deruvula in the next 4 laps or so. Sargent's going to get some points because he's holding on to 7th ahead of Jake Hughes. Marcus Armstrong, Dennis Hauger, 9th and 10th. And it is pretty much as you were. Lawson leading by an absolute postcode on the hard tyres. He can cruise to the end. But Callie Mayer still in a points playing position, but Liam Lawson is going to get the advantage here. It is going to be a, what do you think? It's going to be a 17, 15, 12. I think it's going to be about a 10-point swing in Lawson to close the gap. There's Frederick Vesti on the side of the road. Mercedes young driver Frederick Vesti, and well, he's been hugely unfortunate. Callie Mayer says the fastest lap as she continues her charge, passing Jehan Deruvula for 5th. And well, at this pace, she might even catch Porsche yet. But what has happened to Frederick Vesti, Mercedes young driver? We bring it up really because of, again, well, we bring it up really because Aiden Jackson, well, we'll say this, He's a very sought after driver right now, because he has had a season of very much rising his stock for himself, given that he's been on form this weekend very much, and he could have won in Belgium but for a car failure. And well, he's been always under the watchful eye of Aston Martin, but with all the turnover going on over there, with Lawrence Stroll increasing his stock and his shares, shall we say, in the Aston Martin brand, and of course signing Fernando Alonso for a lucrative seat if ever there was one. Maybe the Aston Martin door is closed for Aiden Jackson on that one. Obviously with Lance Stroll being in the second seat for, let's say, job security for various reasons, although Stroll, I believe, is much more of a talent than people give him credit for. But he's not had really the chance or machinery to show it. Certainly this season, Aston Martin have definitely been below par this year. But with Sebastian Vettel departing and Alonso coming in, it could be the start of the big push for Aston Martin in 2023 to trying to be best of the rest ahead of Alpine. And so far, Alpine have probably been the better team this year of the two. But Aiden Jackson was on Aston Martin's radar throughout 2021. That didn't work out. And well, if all the team news is to be believed, Aiden Jackson will be on the grid next year. It's a question of what will happen around him, really, because why would you drop Aiden Jackson? He's had the season of his life, more or less, as he continues to just get better. But of course, with it all happening, Mercedes, with all that happening, will they? I think they still, even if the stories are true about konnersport and what will happen there, will Mercedes still include the clause to recall Aiden Jackson when his seat arises? Because at the end of 2024, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell will be out of contract. And maybe that could be Aiden Jackson's open door to Mercedes maybe in 2025. Because, of course, in the team principal press conference this week, Toto Wolff, with the statement of "he still ours," added that I will not make the same mistake I made with Pascal Wehrlein. So he very much, well, it wasn't a mistake really. Signing Valtteri Bottas certainly seemed like a very reliable option at the time, but poor Pascal Wehrlein just really fell out of F1 really. It was very unfortunate for Pascal Wehrlein, but Toto Wolff has adamant that will not happen again with Aiden Jackson. He's very much looking to keep a hold of Aiden anywhere he can. And I think that's probably why Toto kind of, I say, orchestrated Jackson's seats, let's say, with Haas for a lone year in an Audi today, or this year, and Audi konnersport, or just konnersport, for next year. We're not which yet to be confirmed, but I think it is heading towards a more konnersport entry for next year. But anyway, at the front, well, we've not even talked about him. Liam Lawson has dominated this race by an absolute country mile, 14 seconds ahead of Moreno Sato. Well, in equal spec cars, that's impressive. There's no denying Liam Lawson's speed, but Kylie Mayer has had the consistency and the good luck fall her way, and that is why she is the championship leader. And of course, don't forget that konnersports are, with Kylie Mayer and Jamie Chadwick, they are konnersport's latest acquisitions. So if konnersport come forward as an independent team, as we are led to possibly believe, will Kylie Mayer be in one of those seats? It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But those are stories for another day. Today, Liam Lawson has dominated the Netherlands feature race today by 14 seconds. An absolute cakewalk for him as he continues his push towards a possible Red Bull seat in the future. Be with Red Bull or AlphaTauri, or maybe to become Visa Cash App in a year or so's time. We do not know. But that seems to be the play. Callie Mayer finishes 5th. That is I believe that's a... Callie Mayer got the fastest lap, by the way. So I think that's 13 points. So that is a 12-point swing in Lawson's favour. And he is pretty much the only one now keeping this championship alive. Because Callie Mayer has just been remarkable consistency all season. But Liam Lawson has his own stock to think about as well. Red Bull Junior. And this season, probably more than any other, he's proven why he's a Red Bull Junior. Red Bull, as you know, a beast of young talent has come through in that program. And Liam Lawson today has shown again that his team seems to be possibly another one as he wins today by a comfortable margin. And it was 11 points that Callie Mayer earned. So she finishes on 10 for 5th, but gains an extra point for the fastest lap. So that is a 14-point swing back towards Liam Lawson in the championship battle. Sato, Dragovic and Porsche finished where they started as well. Callie Mayer, the only real mover, to be honest. Logan Sargent as well. Mover up a couple of places to 7th. Jake Hughes. Marcus Armstrong loses out and drops to 9th. And Dennis Howard gets the final point of the day. Vibs, Richard Shaw, Tangent and Calderon up to 13th. Pretty decent race from her, including a very decent move on Callie Mayer, of all people. Iwasa, Callum Williams, Fittipaldi, Jack doing Ralph Buchon, Novaluk, Cordial, the classified finishes, as Vesti and Caldwell both retired with engine troubles, you'd expect. So, I believe that is 44 points between Mayer and Lawson. Now, I think if Callie Mayer can amass a gap of about 70 points, I'd want to say, 65, if she can end 20 points better than Liam Lawson for the rest of the weekend, probably including the pole and fastest lap as well, so maybe it's 69, that will win Callie the title. It doesn't look very likely, but that is a championship stipulation now as we approach the final 2 rounds of the season. I would say pretty much Dams are on course to take the team's championship with about 90% of their points coming from Callie Mayer, to be honest, but Iwasa has done his part too. There's no denying that. Liam Lawson got exactly what he wanted, but I think he only delayed the inevitable. Callie Mayer showed again with her remarkable consistency just why she is the favourite in this Formula 2 championship this season. 70 points I think is the margin. If Callie can amass that bigger margin, by the end of the weekend we'll have our 2022 world champion for Formula 2. Well, not world champion, but certainly Formula 2 champion. We'll find out if she can get it when Formula 2 returns at Monza, the Temple of Speed.